Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexandria, and if you are new here, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I wanted to talk about something that has been on my mind a lot, and that is finances. As we get close to 2021, I can't help but think about my goals for the new year, and a big portion of the goals that I'm setting this time around have to do with my finances. Now, just a little backstory, I graduated from college last fall, so September 2019, and since then I've been trying to aggressively pay off my student loans and some credit card debt that I graduated with. Today I just wanted to go through kind of where I started, where I'm at now, and what my goals for 2021 are. So as I said, last year I graduated from college. I went to UC Davis and got a degree in environmental science and management. I really loved the time I spent in college, and I don't regret taking out loans for that cost. I did pay for my school on my own, which for me meant working a lot and also taking out some loans just to help supplement my income while I was in school. And so last September, I graduated with about $34,000 in debt. Since then, I've been able to pay off $7,000 of my student loans and all of my credit cards. Just getting out of that really high interest debt and getting those credit cards paid off was just a big milestone. It felt like a big weight off my shoulders. With those debt payoff amounts, I have approximately $21,000 left in student loans. And this year, as with most, I believe, of us in the US, our loans have been on hold. We don't have to repay them, and they are at 0% interest as opposed to maybe like 5 to 7% interest they otherwise would have been set at. And so that's been really helpful in minimizing the amount of interest that's accruing on my loans, and the payments that I have been able to make have gone straight to the principal. Now, growing up, I had really wonderful, supportive parents who always taught me that saving is really important. And so I really did save half of my money, if not more, for most of my young adults, teenagehood. That definitely changed when I got a little bit older, got into college, and even maybe slightly before that when I started wanting material items. I wanted an Apple Watch, I wanted certain things that cost more money that definitely weren't necessities, and I kind of fell into the keeping up with the Joneses mentality where I would see my friends go on a cool trip that I wanted to go on. So I would spend the money there, or I really wanted to look good at this Halloween party, so I would splurge on an outfit that I wore once. And these are definitely things that, again, I don't regret doing. I had great experiences in high school and college, but I just have learned to be much more mindful of where my money goes. I always look to buy secondhand now when I do need something. My goal is not to live a super frivolous life and pay off my debt, but it's to pay off my debt so I can go live the life that I want. And I think that that shift has really helped me focus and really helped me put more energy and more money towards my debt payoff. When I first started paying off debt, I think like most of us, I went to the internet. I didn't really have a lot of financial education growing up aside from, to save half of your money, but I knew that there were more strategies out there. I knew that there were experts who could help teach me for free on the internet how to better manage my money. And so, I stumbled across creators like Asia Dang, The Financial Diet, Dave Ramsey, One Big Happy Life. There's a ton of information out on the internet, and I think it's really wonderful because it allows you to build your own financial path and your own financial plan. At first, I will admit that I totally got sucked into the very black or white, all or nothing approach. But for me, unfortunately, it kind of turned into like a binge restrict pattern where I would tell myself I wasn't allowed to spend on anything. And while I can appreciate that, it's a really kind of hard and fast way to pay off massive amounts really quickly, for me it just felt super restrictive. And especially before COVID, when I was trying to do this, I was not going out with friends anymore. I wasn't seeing my friends a lot of times because I didn't want to spend money. I couldn't maintain this for more than a few weeks at a time before I would cave and buy something that was super expensive that I totally didn't need. I found myself just kind of spiraling and feeling even less in control of my money. I felt super impulsive and just was going down a path that I knew would not see success in the long term. Following this, I decided to join kind of a trendy online platform. Essentially, this service just provides you like a breakdown of your finances. They look at your income, they look at your expenses, and they give you a budget that's more realistic and definitely more of a middle path. And I did like what they were providing. However, I think that it's something that you can do without paying a service, $100 a month. If you have Excel or even just Google Drive with their Sheets platform, I think it's super simple to just build a budget yourself and to track your expenses that way and see, where your money is going, what you're able to spend, and what you have the budget for. So this all set me on a new path, right? I'm trying to personalize my finances. I'm trying to prioritize debt repayment so that I can live, my dream life. I can go pursue the life that I want without feeling tied down by debt or like I'm chasing money. I'm also really trying to remove the stigma and the shame that I feel oftentimes for having debt. I think that initially when I had credit card debt especially, I felt a lot of guilt. Like I spent money that I didn't have, that I was being frivolous, and just really put myself down for that. But ultimately, I realized that did two things. One, it's not helpful. It just makes you super stressed out and feel like crap about yourself. And that's not encouraging. That doesn't make you want to pay off more. That just kind of makes you feel blah. And the second thing that has done for me is to focus on like the growth mindset, that growth mentality, as opposed to shrinking. When I first started paying off my debt, I was always telling myself, I need to get rid of, I need to remove, I need to pay off, I need to get down to zero. All of these really like minimizing negative terms. I now am trying to focus on things with a growth mindset of by paying off my debt or by, putting money towards my debt payments every month, I'm enabling my future self to, save more money, to purchase a house, to have a bigger emergency fund, and to not stress every month about whether or not I can pay my bills. And so having this growth mindset as opposed to more of a shrinking mindset has also been really, really beneficial to me. And I think honestly the foundation of my optimism for 2021, because I'm confident that I will be able to pay off my debt, save more money, and start pursuing my dream life. Now that I've covered a bit of my background, let's jump into my goals for 2021. So as I mentioned, I have a lot of growth goals this year. And although I'm still paying off my debt, I want to make sure to have a couple of things sprinkled in there that are really showing me kind of a light at the end of the tunnel and a glimpse into my future. My first goal and my priority right now is paying off my student loans. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I have $21,000 left in student loans. Right now they are at 0% interest, and so thankfully I'm not accruing any interest, and I haven't been since March. My second goal, and I'm already partially there just because I had a $1,000 emergency fund when I was following Dave Ramsey's advice. After I kind of fell off that bandwagon, I ended up boosting that up to $4,000, which is where it sits right now. And ultimately, I'm hoping to have at least $10,000 in an emergency fund. I think that I'll probably be able to achieve that by September or October because I'm really hoping to pay off my student loans no later than July. In addition to that, another goal that I have is to max out my Roth IRA. These early years and your late teens, early to mid 20s especially, are super valuable because of compounding interest. Right now it's not growing super fast, but that's because I only have a small amount of money in there. I've been able to max out my retirement 2 years in a row prior to this year, and so although I won't be able to hit that goal for 2020, I think 2021 should be very achievable. So with those big goals, I want to pay off my student loans, I want to fully fund my emergency fund to $10,000, and my last goal being to max out my Roth IRA. One goal that I have that I'm not entirely sure if I will be able to start doing, but just starting is pretty simple. That could be even $10. I'm really hoping to start saving for a house this year. And at 24 years old, that might seem kind of young. I don't have a partner that I'm saving with necessarily right now. It would just be on my own. But I do know that in the next 5 years, maybe even less if I can save up more money quicker, I would really like to be able to put a down payment on a home and to start investing in property as opposed to just paying rent. And so again, kind of a tail end goal. I'm not sure if I will be able to achieve that after hitting the other goals that I'm prioritizing this year, but that's definitely on the horizon for me. And even if I can put, a $1,000 into that fund by the end of 2021, I will be super happy. So you might be thinking that's a lot of goals for 2021, and you're not wrong. It's definitely a pretty tall order, and I'm a little bit nervous if I'm being completely honest, but I know that I work really well under a little bit of stress, some like healthy stress and healthy pressure, and so I'm excited to see where 2021 takes me, it takes my finances, and what doors it will open up for my future. I have some pretty concrete ways that I'm hoping to implement this plan and to achieve these goals, and so I wanted to talk about those briefly to first acknowledge some privileges that I do have, and then also to follow that up with just some tips that I think are really helpful for myself, or that have been really helpful for myself, and that also might apply to you. My first method is to be kind to myself and to not really beat myself up for purchases or last minute items that I end up buying. Or maybe one month I'm just not gonna be able to contribute as much to my debt payoff as I would have liked or as I planned. And that's okay. It's just, kind of like with anything in life, it's consistency and it's sticking to something in the long term and not letting one setback or one bump in the road slow you down. The second thing I'm gonna do is to set goals and visualize them. And so if you want to see more on this, please leave a comment down below and I will make sure to make a video on how I budget, what my templates look like, and what my financial breakdown is if you're interested. I think visualizing goals and seeing your progress over the long term can be super helpful and really motivating, especially if you post it up in a place that's super obvious. You can't ignore it, and it's just a little reminder every day of why you're working so hard, why you're putting your money towards what you are and not just getting into more debt. The third thing that I'm going to do is remind myself that personally, I value experiences more than material goods. I, like anybody else, have definitely gotten sucked into materialism, and I think just reminding myself of why I'm working so hard, why I'm putting money towards my debt is going to help keep myself in check and not purchase frivolously or impulsively, and again, just really save more money and pay off my debt faster. The fourth thing I'm going to do is to be open about my finances with my partner and then those friends and family who are involved in my life. Just kind of setting the expectation that I am working towards goals and that there are things that we can do for free together or for pretty cheap that don't require me, postponing what I feel like is my life and postponing that debt payoff. Next, I'm going to focus on simplifying my life, and so right now I'm in the process of selling a lot of material goods. I'm also really trying to stop purchasing things that I don't need or things that maybe I do need but could purchase secondhand. I find that, when I've been camping or traveling and I just have one bag to live out of or my car to live out of, I'm honestly the most happy anyways, and so I already know for myself personally that I don't need things to make me happy. And so just reminding myself of that is going to really help keep me on track. And the last thing, which most of you will probably say, well, that's the biggest thing, that is cheating, and so I didn't mean to omit it until the end, but I am very thankful that I recently was able to move back in with my parents, and so I am living at home somewhat rent-free. I'm not contributing financially, but they're remodeling their house right now, and so I've been helping out around the house, helping with the remodel, and that's kind of my rent payment. And so as I mentioned earlier, I'm really minimizing my costs by doing that, my living costs, and that's allowing me to really aggressively save and pay off my debt. All right, so that is all that I have today. Just wanted to really get those big goals out into the ether and state what I am trying to accomplish this year, to hold myself accountable and to take you all along on the journey with me. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I will be posting more content like this and also more detailed breakdowns of what my budget will look like, and again, just my journey, what I'm learning along the way, and also hopefully a debt-free scream or celebration mid-2021. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.